Hi, I'm Douglas and I'm here making a little video about masks. It seems that with the changing circumstances we've learned that the COVID-19 virus can be spread by people who are showing no symptoms, and just by breathing or talking there might be droplets, microscopic droplets that are coming out of your mouth, or even if you're coughing and you are showing symptoms, but maybe not all of the symptoms, you might be exposing others potentially to infection and exposing yourself to infection from other well-meaning people who are out at the grocery store or the gas station that happen to be nearby. So I think it's no longer really optional to go out in public places without a mask of some sort. I thought, okay, this being the new situation, I'm set, because I had a whole supply of N95 dust masks down in my basement next to my carpentry tools. I use them when I'm cutting treated lumber for, like, say, an outdoor deck or some outdoor stairs, and I'm using the saw on this treated lumber, and I don't want to breathe in the chemicals that they use to preserve the wood. Nasty stuff. So I thought, oh, I'll go get some masks and I'll head out to the grocery store. No luck. No masks in the basement. A volunteer work week that I was on, I took my whole supply and was working with high school kids building some stairs outside. And over the week we used them all up, and I just never replenished it. So they say you can wear a cloth mask, and I say, well, what do I have? I've got a bandana, and I guess, you can go out and, put on your bandana like a bank robber and tie it in the back, and that's okay. You can do that, and that's better than nothing for sure. But it doesn't fit very well, and as I move around it falls down, and I'm always kind of worried about it and thinking about it, and it's hard to adjust. And I thought, well, I really shouldn't go out and buy a mask. In fact, I don't think I can, because they're just nowhere. And I'm not too happy with the bandana thing, but I can make it better. And what do I have to do that? Well, I've got my dining room table here. I've got an idea, and I've got these things called gear ties, and you've probably seen them in the hardware store. That's where I get them. These, I think, are still available. There's not a huge demand for them during this crisis, so you can probably still get these today. They come in all sorts of lengths and so forth, and they're really useful. In fact, we've used a lot of them for work at home stuff, because we've set up a new workstation to work at, and they're handy for tying up cables and making things tidy and everything. So they come in really small sizes like this that you can wrap around a few cables or cords. They come in really big sizes, even bigger than this. This one I think is 24 inches. They come in 36-inch long. You can use them to wrap up a garden hose. They're really nice and sturdy and very easy to bend, and they keep their shape and everything. So I thought, well, why not make essentially a towel rack? And what works best for me are these 18-inch ones. This one's 18 inches. And so you can just straighten it out. They're very easy to bend. And then you can take your bandana, if you like, and you can just think of it as a towel that you're going to hang on the towel rack in the bathroom. Fold it over once this way, and this is your new towel rack. Fold it over that. So essentially, I've got a way to hang this in front of my face, and I'm just going to shape this towel rack to the contours of my face. So I'm going to start by putting a bend right in the very middle. And I'm just doing this with the kerchief on here, so you can kind of see it take shape. I'm going to bend it in the middle, and that's going to be for my nose, but I know right away I've got to spread it out for my cheeks, so I'm just going to make the initial bends like this, so you can see that I've got a little nose area there. And I'm doing it with the towel in place because it stays hanging neatly on my towel rack. So I'm just going to put that up to my nose, and you can bend this around, and I can make a little, I can treat it like it's their eyeglasses, sort of. So you can see that as it takes shape, you can just work at it, try it out. What you want to do is you want to get it so that it completely fits the contour of your cheeks. And the nice thing about these gear ties is that it's really easy to do that with just very small changes, and eventually you get it so that it's really pretty good. Well, this isn't much better than the original thing, although it stays in place, and it's got a nice seal along my cheeks here. Then I thought, well, I have no sewing skills, so I can't do this with a sewing machine. I'm using these gear ties, and then I can also just use another gear tie. This is another 18-inch one, and you can see that I've made a little bend in it for my Adam's apple here. And I'm just going to collect all of that, and I'll just hook it in the back, and then readjust and pull this down a little bit so that there's some room. Fits very well, and then you can just sort of pull in the gaps on the sides over here, and you're good to go. This I can move my head around. There's no, it really follows my face all the way around. I've effectively got 4 layers of cloth here. I'm not sure which types of cloth to use. Somebody else maybe can tell you more about that. But I made one here where I took a lot of time to really get the shape exactly to my face. And I can wear it so that it makes contact all the way around, and it's not even pinching my nose, but it's tight. And this one, I can wear my glasses on top of it. It's fine. So this is my facial towel rack, if you will. And then just by having another one that sort of fits comfortably around my neck, I can gather all the material so that it stays put, even when I'm talking. So there's an idea. I hope it's useful to you, and that you can be masked when you're out in public. Good luck.